Subject Anand Sutram, second chapter, first sutra. Anukul Vedaniyam Sukham. A congenial mental feeling is called happiness. If the mental waves of someone whose sanskara happens to be the quiescent form of those waves find similar waves emanating either from any crude object or from any other mind entity, then those waves in that person's case are said to be complementary and reciprocal. The contact of these mutually sympathetic waves is what is called happiness. Second sutra. Sukhanurakti parma jaivi vritti. The attachment to happiness is the primary vritti, propensity of living beings. Even every living being wants to keep itself alive, and this self-preserving instinct is a mental faculty. Want of happiness endangers one's very sense of existence, and so one does not want the want of happiness. One wants to have the pervasiveness of happiness as one's sole refuge. Third sutra. Sukham anantam anandam. Infinite happiness is anand, bliss. No living being is content with a little, not to speak of human beings, and so small happiness fills nobody's will. One wants endless happiness. This endless happiness is a condition beyond the precincts of will and woe, because the sense of happiness that is perceivable with the help of the senses oversteps the limit of the sense organs. When established in limitlessness, this limitless happiness is what is known as Ananda, bliss. Fourth, Anandam Brahma Ityahu. This Ananda is called Brahma. The limitless object is one, not many. Manyness can have no quarter in endlessness. That self-same blissful entity is indeed Brahma, which is the composite of Shiva and Shakti. Fifth, Tasmin uplabdhe parma trishna nivriti. That Brahma having been attained, all thirst is permanently quenched. There is in the living being a thirst for limitlessness. It is not possible for limited objects to quench one's thirst. Brahma is the only limitless entity, and so establishment in Brahma's being alone puts an end to all thirst or cravings. Sixth, Brihadesana pranidhanam cha dharma. To long for and run after the great is dharma. And so, knowingly or unknowingly, human beings are indeed running after limitlessness. When knowingly one tries to attain the great, and to that end one prays, that bearing is called dharma. And the effort involved in is called dharma sadhana, the practice of dharma. Seventh, tasmad dharma sadakal. Therefore, dharma should always be practiced. Since happiness is the cherished goal of all, and the desire for happiness is not to be satiated without the attainment of limitlessness, and then again, since the attainment of limitlessness itself is dharma sadhana, then dharma sadhana is indispensable for every living being. Creatures inferior to humans cannot do sadhana, dharma sadhana, due to their undeveloped minds. But humans can, and the one who does not do it all fits the epithet of human being. ए विषय पुरुष भावाशः जीवात्मा. The reflection of Purusha in a unit object is called the Jivatma, unit soul. In spiritual parlance, the soul is one. In whatever condition the mind be manifest, that is in animate beings and plants, or unmanifest, that is in inanimate earth, iron, etc., the Atma goes on reflecting itself on it and its objects. The crude objects, the reflection of the soul on the mind is called the Jivatma. And in that case, the reflector soul is called Paramatma, Supreme Soul. Or Pratyagatma, Pratipama, Viparitam, Anchati, Bijanati, Iti, Pratyak. That which takes a stance opposite to a thing and witness that thing is Pratyak. The Jivatma may also be called Anuchaitanya, microcosmic consciousness. Similarly, we may call Paramatma by the name of Bhuma Chaitanya, macrocosmic consciousness. The totality of microcosm is the macrocosm. In a way, this assertion is true, because every mind or crude entity is holding the Supreme Spirit according to its individual capacity. Their collective capacity is indeed the capacity of the macrocosmic mind. The Paramatma is the ultimate knower of the macrocosmic mind, and that is why Paramatma is called Bhuma Chaitanya. Ninth, Atmani Satta Sanstita. Everything is embedded finally in the Atma. The object entity finds its substantiation in the receptacle of the Chitta. The receptacle of the Chitta in the doer eye or honor eye, that is in the Aham Tattva. The receptacle of the doer eye or honor eye in the sense of existence, that is in I am or Mahat Tattva. The knowledge of the I am entity, that is I know I am. In the absence of this knowership, the entitative sense of I am or my existence remains in jeopardy, unsubstantiated, and so at the root of everything remains I know, and the next that follows is I am. This I of I know is the soul, and so the sense of all entities depends on the Atma. 10th, Ortho Proto Yogabhyam Sanjuktah Purushottama. Purushottam is linked to each entity individually and to all entities collectively. Purushottam, the nucleus of the universe, is the witness of and is directly concerned with every unit entity. This association of his is called Ota Yoga, the yoga of individual association. Evidently, Purushottam is the collective entity of the universe as well as witness of the collective mind. This association of his with the collectivity is called Prota Yoga, the yoga of pervasive association. In other words, it may be said that the one who is associated with his objects through both Ota and Prota yogas at the same time is Purushottam. 11th, Manasatite Anavasthayam Jagadvijam. The seed of the universe lies beyond the mind in a state the mind cannot comprehend. Every created object obeys the law of cause and effect. In our quest for the cause of action in Pratisanchara, we arrive at the 5 fundamental elements. Similarly, in our quest for the cause of action in Sanchara, we arrive at the Mahat of the Great, the mind having no locus standi beyond the Mahat. Such a state is the supramental state of the mind. In this supramental state, it is beyond the capacity of the mind to determine the principle of cause and effect. For further probings will entail the fallacy of infinite regress. This is to say, to think of the existence of the mind in a state where it does not exist is indeed fallacious. Hence the query is to when did the creation take place and why is redundant and untenable. 12th, Sagunat Srishti Utpatti. The creation originates from Sagun Brahma. But since the created world is concerned with the gunas, then it is true that it was evolved in Sagun Brahma, not Nirguna. 13th, Purusha Dehe Jagat Bhasha. The universe takes from within the cognitive body. All that is manifest and unmanifest in the world is embodied in the Brahmi Dehe, cosmic body. No one and nothing is outside Brahma. The name outsider is a misnomer, a non-entity. 14th, Brahma Satyam Jagadapi Satyam Apekshikam. Brahma is absolute truth. The universe is also truth but relative. Brahma is Satya, truth. That is unchangeable. But we cannot say that the changes that are perceived apparently on the body of Brahma under the influence of Prakriti and the three fundamental relative factors of time, space and person are false. Nor can we say that they are eternal truth. All that we can say is that they are relative truths, for the apparent changes are dependent on the relativity of these three factors, that is time, space and person. The unit entity or the unit mind also in its progressive bearing is involved with these three factors, hence its existence also is a relative factor. One relative entity appears to be a spiritual truth to another relative entity, and so the changeable world appears to be a truth to the changeable living unit. 15th, Purusha Akarta Falakankshi Bhuta Bhav Kendra Sthita Gunayantrikascha. Purush does no action directly, but is the witnessing entity of actions and reactions. Located at the nucleus of Sagun Brahma, he is the controller of the gunas. The Purusha is established at the nucleus of all entities is true of both individuality and collectivity. This very Purusha of the nucleus of the collectivity is Purushottam. When energy is begotten in the object body in the wake of the flow of the operative principle, then the controller of this energy is called Karta. Purusha does not control this sort of energy. On the contrary, he being established at the nucleus of the guna controls those very gunas through which energy emanates. Hence the controller, Purusha or Purushottam, is not subject to the gunas, but is the governor or sovereign head thereof. 16th, Akartri Visaya Samjukta Buddhi Mahadva. The Buddhi Tattva or Mahat Tattva itself is not the doer, but remains associated with objects. The Buddhi Tattva or Mahat Tattva itself does not do anything, but remains involved with the objects. 17th, Aham Karta Pratyaksha Phala Bhukta. The Aham is the doer and directly enjoys or suffers the results of action. The Aham Tattva is really the master or doer of acts and also is the enjoyer and endurer of the fruits of actions. 18th, Karm Phalam Chittam. The Chitta takes the form of the results of actions. The Chitta takes the form of the fruits of actions. 19th, Vikrita Chittasya Purvavastha Praptir Phala Bhoga. The process through which the distorted Chitta regains its original state is the enjoyment or suffering of the results of actions. Action means transmutation of Chitta. If we call This attainment of simultaneous transformation, vikriti, distortion, then the process of chitta's re-attaining its previous state is to be called karma phala bhog, the experience of requitals, pleasure and pain. 20th, na swargo na rasatala, there is neither heaven nor hell. There exist no such things as heaven or hell. When a person does a virtuous act or enjoys the fruits thereof, the environment around him or her is then called heaven. And when he or she does an evil act and endures the consequences thereof, then the environment around that person becomes a hell for him or her. 21st, Bhuma chitte sanchara dharayam jadvasha. In the flow of sanchara, matters takes form in the cosmic chitta. The Akash Tattva, Vyom Tattva, ethereal factor is evolved through the greater influence of Prakriti's static principle over the cosmic chitta. The influence of the static principle over the Akash Tattva begets the Maruta Tattva, aerial factor. In this way are evolved the Teja Tattva, luminous factor from the Marut, the Apatattva, liquid factor from the Tejas, and the Chitti Tattva, solid factor from the liquid. These ethereal, aerial, luminous, liquid and solid factors are known as the 5 Mahabhutas, fundamental elements, because all other bhutas, bodies or evolved objects are begotten out of these elements. 22nd, Bhuta Lakshana Makam, Bhuta Bahitam, Bhuta Sangharsa Spandanam Tanmatram. Tanmatras, microscopic fractions of bhutas or fundamental factors, represent the bhutas are carried by the bhutas and are created by vibrations from the clash within the bhutas. The stirrings in the object bodies that are created through internal and external pressures reach the different gates of the indriyas, organs of the unit body, in the form of waves flowing through the media of subtler bodies. These waves flowing from those gates of organs through different nerves or with the help of internal secretions thereof, each particular appropriative points of the brain. Thereafter, according to those waves, the simulative chitta, mental plate, adopts the vibrative forms of the external bodies. Those simulative appropriative waves bring the chitta into contact with external bodies such as sound, touch, form, taste or smell. Such waves are called the tanmatras, sensible or supersensible inferences or generic essences. 23rd, Bhutam Tanmatren Parichiyate. The bhutas are recognized by their corresponding tanmatras. The category of the physical elements an object belongs to is determined by the tanmatra emanating from that object. The ethereal factor has the capacity of imbibing or carrying the sound tanmatra. The aerial factor has the capacity of imbibing or carrying the sound and touch tanmatra. The luminous factor of the sound, touch and form tanmatras, and the liquid factor of the sound, touch, form and taste tanmatras. The solid factor has the capacity of imbibing or carrying all 5 tanmatras: sound, touch, form, taste and smell. In order to ascertain the category of the physical elements an object belongs to, we will have to base our finding on the crudest of the tanmatras. The particular object carries the function of the 5 sensory organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, is to receive the tanmatras from the external objects or elements. The function of the motor organs, vocal cord, hands, legs, anus and generative organ is to transmit the inherent tanmatras outside with the help of sangya, internal sense, and the function of the pranendriya, vital force, is to conjoin the objective with the mind stuff as well as to create in the chitta a sense of lightness, heaviness, warmth or coldness. 24th. Dwara nadirasah pithatmakani indriyani. The indriyas, organs, are the composite of the gateways of the organs, the nerves, the nerve fluids, and the appropriative pithas, seats of the organs in the brain. The gates of organs, that is the gates of the living bodies where tanmatras first bring the objectivity. The nerve fibers which react to the waves of the tanmatras, the nerve secretions which get vibrated by the tanmatric vibrations, and the points of the nerve cells whereat the tanmatric waves are conjoined with the chitta are collectively called the indriyas, organs. That is to say, the optical nerve, the optical fluid and the optic point of the nerve cell that are active behind what we commonly call the eyes are collectively called the eye indriya.